Hey guys, it's October 31st. Markets are moving up a little this week, but I wanted to go through my watch list and show you some stocks that I see moving up. Now, I would say that with the stocks that I invest in, I only invest in stocks that are at their annual low price, at or near their annual low price, so that we can see them moving up for the rest of the year, and they are fundamentally sound. I've done the fundamental analysis on all of these stocks. So, for the ones that I've already created videos on the analysis, I will leave those underneath in the description. But if you want the fundamental analysis on a stock, I personally don't buy any stock unless I've already analyzed it to make sure it's fundamentally sound. So if you want the analysis on any stock in this video, please leave me a comment letting me know which stock you want the analysis on. And please leave a like for this video. And also, you want to make sure you're subscribed to the channel so that when I do drop the analysis link down in the description, you're aware that it's there and you can go and get it. And so, having said that, let's get started. The first one we're starting with is Dollar General. Dollar General is at its annual low price, but as you can see here in the right of the chart, it is moving up. This is 3 weeks straight that it's moved up. And now you see the little green speck, it's moving up on the fourth week. Now, Dollar General is one that I put as a 1 star. I've broken up my watch list into different ratings. There's 3 stars for the ones I consider the top or the most fundamentally sound, 2 stars, and then 1 star is the least of those. It may be issues of maybe the balance sheet is not as strong or whatever, but you can see that when you look at my analysis videos. But Dollar General is a 1 star on my list, but it is moving up for its fourth straight week. The next one we have is Weiss Markets. Weiss Markets is actually not moving up this week. It moved up for 2 weeks in a row, and this week it's down, it's sort of holding its ground. It's down a little bit, but not significantly. So we want to watch this. We don't want to jump right in. We want to watch this and see what it does. We're with Tootsie Roll, and they make the Tootsie Roll for those who are familiar with the candy and a bunch of other candies. Um, in any event, Tootsie Roll is moving up for its second straight week. There's still, if I look in this area, it's a little congested. It's still moving in a sort of sideways pattern, but if we see it break above that, it may be interesting. It may be something to consider going into. And it's a $31 stock. It's not very expensive, but the fundamentals are decent. And like I said, if you leave me a comment asking for the analysis, I'll make a video and drop the analysis in the description of this video so you can see it, or you'll be able to find it on my channel if you're subscribed. L3 Harris Technologies. And it also it's a 1 star. It's moving in a sideways pattern as well, but it's positive this week. And we want to see if it breaks up out of this sideways pattern going into next week. and we spoke about Weiss Markets. Norfolk Southern Corporation. This is a railroad, if I remember correctly, and they're not moving up for a number of weeks, but they are moving up this week. This is another wait and see. We want to see if this one bottomed out, but the fundamentals on this one are solid. Prosperity Bank shares, it's a 2-star. It moved up considerably last week. This week it's in negative territory, but only slightly. So we can keep our eyes on this one and see what's happening with it. RCI Hospitality. We see 2 green candles. It's slightly moving up. This is a 3-star. It's fundamentally sound. And I smile because RCI Hospitality is a company which owns a number of strip clubs, basically. But they are moving up. They had 3 weeks with positive candles. So this is the 3rd week with a positive candle, and we want to see what happens. They're not moving up much, but just a little. Someone to keep their eye on. Cullen/Frost Bankers. Generally, when I analyze these companies, a lot of them I've never even heard of before. I just see that they've dropped to their low price, so I analyze them to see if they're fundamentally sound. I do a 5-year history of them. And one of them was Cullen/Frost Bankers. And now that basketball has started back, I was sitting down one day. I wanted to see what all the hype is about this guy, Wembanyama. So I turned to a San Antonio Spurs game, and I realized that the arena that the San Antonio Spurs play in is sponsored by Frost Bank. Here's a bank I never heard of, and now I'm seeing them twice. Once in the stocks and then with the San Antonio Spurs. But in any event, Cullen/Frost has moved up for their 2nd week in a row. Like I said, 3 is my top rating. 1 is my bottom rating, but it's not a horrible company. There's a lot of companies that don't make it on my list at all. So you have to have some fundamentals to get on my watch list. Cullen/Frost have some fundamentals. Probably the weaker thing may be their balance sheet. But if you ask for the analysis in the comments, I will leave an analysis on Frost Bank, and you could find out everything about them if you're considering investing. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Kiajin NV, and this is a 3-star. It's not, I like to see companies moving up at least a couple of weeks before I jump in. I want to see that the fundamentals are solid, and I want to see that by their PE ratio, their PE ratio is indicating from the low PE ratios of the last 5 years that this stock may have bottomed out and now it's starting to move up. And so Kiajin met those criteria. It's a 3-star, but it's only moving up for 1 week right now. We want to see what it continues to do. Camden National Corporation. It's a cheap stock, $29.20, and it's moving up for its 2nd week. It's a 1-star, but it's moving up for its 2nd week, and it's on our watch list. So, and it's $29.20 a share. UPS. United Parcel Service. It's a 2-star. I held it. It continued to drop. I let it go. I want to say when you get these stocks, we may have the feeling it's going to move up, but it doesn't move up. It starts to retreat. You don't want to be married to the stock. If you're holding on to this stock in a few days to a week, I'd say definitely about a week, it's still going down, let it go. If it starts to move up, you can catch it on its way back up. Or by that time, you may have found another opportunity that's more promising, and you can just use that. You could ride that on the way up. But having said that, United Parcel Service, it is now, as of this week, we see it making a move up. I'm not sure if it's going to continue up, but it is up for now, and they are at the top of their industry. Darling Ingredients, 2-star. It's going up for its second week, $44.82 a share. Quest Diagnostics, they were moving in a sideways pattern, but they finally broken out of that sideways pattern, and they're on their way up for a third week in a row. And maybe you live in a state where you've had to get a blood test, and the doctors or the nurses don't just take your blood there in the office, they send you to a diagnostics lab. And maybe that diagnostics lab was Quest. That's what Quest does. They have diagnostics labs all over the place. Harley Davidson. If we're looking at Harley Davidson, pretty well priced, $26.87 a share. It's not very expensive, but it's really not moving up much yet. But we see some hope. We see this little green candle down there. We see the long tail at the bottom, which means it pushed down, it pushed down. The sellers were controlling it. And then finally the buyers came in and they pushed that price right on back up. So we want to see if it drops or if it continues to go up. And if it continues to go up, that may be an opportunity to jump in. Value line. Value line is moving up nicely. They're up for their third week now. So we want to keep an eye on value line, see what happens with it. But it's moving up nicely so far, and it's a 3-star company. That means the fundamentals are pretty strong. Thermo Scientific. Thermo Scientific is just moving up. It's an expensive stock, 3-star, strong fundamentals, $443.83 a share. But we see that it's moving up. But this is the first week. We want to see what happens. It dropped significantly. If we look at it was all the way up here. It's dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight weeks. It continued to go down and broke out of the sideways resistance or the sideways pattern and continued to go down. But now we see a green candle. We want to see if that's just one candle and it continues to drop or if it moves up from here. Ulta Beauty. Ulta Beauty was up last week. And it was up last week when the SPY and the Dow and the NASDAQ, when everything was going down, Ulta Beauty was fighting the resistance and it moved up only slightly, but it moved up. And now here it is this week. It hasn't moved up much yet. But if you see that little green candle, it's holding its ground. We want to see what it can do moving forward. but Ulta Beauty is an excellent company, great fundamentals. So let's wait and see what happens with it. Commercial Metals Company. So it's 1 star. The fundamentals aren't perfect, but it has fundamentals, so it made our list. And we see that it's moving up only slightly this week so far, but it's moving up for the second week. It's an affordable company at $42.83 a share, so something we should keep our eye on. Okay, guys, like I said, if you want the analysis on any of these companies, please leave a like and then drop a comment saying which company you want. You can give me the full name, you can give me the ticker symbol, and I will create the analysis and I will drop a link inside of the description of this video. But also, if you're subscribed to the channel, you should see it on the you should see it inside of the channel. Have a great day.